Alright, hey guys, it's me. Hi. How are you today, night or evening, whatever time it is for you? Hopefully you're doing alright. I'm doing alright. I gotta go to work at 6 o'clock in the morning, which sucks fucking dick. But it is what it is, you know, gotta make money. There was complications uploading my video yesterday, so it was technically uploaded this morning, but I'm gonna count it as yesterday. I'm just, you know, here. I just finished eating dinner. I've been up pretty much all day. Been meaning to film. I never really got around to it till now, so here we are. I had to really get into planning these things out a little better. So, I guess I'm just gonna I don't know. Let's see. This is a book. I'll read a random page out of it. Alright, page 71. "I'm not Martin," he shouted. One of the nurses held the needle in one hand. The other nurse struggled with the sleeve on Martin's green gown. "Martin, please," she pleaded. "I'm not Martin," he shouted again. He jerked his arm out of the nurse's grip. She gave a startled cry and stepped back. "Martin, we just need a blood sample," the other nurse said. "I'm not Martin. I'm not Martin," he screamed, pounding the bed with both fists. Yes, we both heard that before," the nurse grumbled. Then she turned and saw us. I don't know why I'm laughing at this. I just think it's funny. Then she turned and saw us standing in the doorway. She lowered the needle and took a step toward us. "Are you Sean Daly?" she asked. I nodded. Oh, wait, what? "Oh, that's your butt over there, Sean," the nurse said. "How does your throat feel?" "It's kinda sore," I confessed. "It hurts every time I swallow." She smiled at my parents. "Why don't you take Sean's things over there? You can unpack." "He used the closet near the bed." I followed my parents across the room. "What is that guy's problem?" I asked. Mom raised a finger to her lips. "Shh, he seems to be very frightened." I wanted to see what they did to him, but one of the... Oh, and it's a cliffhanger. Nurses pulled the curtain between the beds. Something tells me that guy is not Martin. I'm gonna skip to the end of what I assume to be that section, because this is R.L. Stine's The Horror Hour, I think is what it's called. I'm not sure. I ripped the sleeve off of it, so, Nightmare Hour. Right. So the end of it. You got to see the middle, and now we see the end. "Please, you've got to listen. I'm not Martin. I'm not Martin. I'm not Martin." They pushed the cart to the elevator open. Way down the hall, Martin poked his head out of the room and waved goodbye, a big grin on his face as the elevator's doors shut behind me. Oh, wow. So they switched places. That's what happened. Okay, we'll read the first page on Afraid of Clowns. Here's the artwork. I guess this is what I've decided to do with my life right now. This is what this video has become. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna read that book anymore. I'm gonna pick another book. Never mind, I lied. Next random page. Wow, I went to the same page. Okay, The Black Mask. Now, let me light this first, guys. This has become reading time with a guy. That's what this is. It's me reading random pages out of a book. I might actually read this whole story this time. You know why? Because why not? So, this one's called The Black Mask. Alright. Introduction. You can't get to sleep. You lie awake and stare at the ceiling. Your heart pounds, your hands are cold and clammy. Shivering, you climb out of bed. You begin to pace back and forth. Your mind spins. I've had many nights like that, haven't you? You know that something terrible is going to happen. You don't just feel it. You can see it in your mind. You have to do something. But what? You have so little time, and no one to turn to. No help is on the way. You're powerless, you're terrified. Good, hold that feeling. You're ready for this story. You're ready to put on The Black Mask. Illustrated by Mark Summers. If y'all would like to see the illustration for this one. After my family moved into our new house, my friends started hanging out in my basement. Sorry. The basement is a huge, cluttered mess with piles of stuff left over from the old owners. But Dad had fixed the corner of it like a rec room. We got a ping pong table down there and a little refrigerator filled up with sodas. TV where I hooked up my video game player, not any specific type. Most afternoons you'll find Billy, Julie, Valerie, and me down there. Bill, big blonde, freckled faced. I'm already bored. So that's that. Now let's see. Oh, they found a mask. I pick it up. Shook it out and slid the mask over my face. Check it out, I'm Zorro. I'm skipping ahead, so you're getting a Mad Libs version of whatever story this was. Zorro, no way, Bill called from across the room. You look like a bank robber. Oh. I straightened the mask so that I could see clearly through the eye holes and gasped and shocked my friends. Where were my 3 friends? They had vanished. I stared through the mask at 4 other kids. They sat in a circle in the floor. 2 girls and 2 boys dressed in dark, old-fashioned clothes. They were playing one of the board games. I couldn't see their faces clearly. Their features were hidden behind a glow of bright light. One of the boys wore a black suit. The boy across from him had on a stiff collar white shirt and tweedy brown pants. I didn't know that was a color. That stopped just below his knees. I don't need the details here about what he was wearing, but, you know, his shoes were brown leather, big and clunky, his shoulders sagged sadly. Everyone else seemed cheerful. The 2 girls had dark hair tight buns on the top of their heads. One wore a black jumper over a lacy... Oh, white rough, Jesus Christ. Other one had a gray dress. She seemed to be telling a joke, waving her hands in the air and laughing. Hey, what's going on? I cried. Who are you? The 4 old-fashioned kids didn't turn around or look up. He couldn't hear the girl's story. The boy in the black suit reached for the dice on the board game. Hey, I shouted at them, can you hear me? Hey, can you see me? They didn't turn around. They just sat there in those stiff old clothes, talking and playing. So, skip another couple of pages. So they all try it. And they all believe it's real. It appears to be a normal mask. You know, you're seeing through the mask, don't you? Julie asked in a trembling voice. We're seeing kids from the past. Maybe kids who were down in this basement 100 years ago. The old black phone rang. I stared at it. We were receiving a phone call from the past. It was Julie's mother. The other two decided to leave too. I followed them. They said goodbye. They asked if you were gonna are you gonna put on the mask again? Bill asked as he headed out the door. I shivered, ran down my back. No, I told them, no way. But I couldn't resist. After dinner, I was supposed to be doing homework, but I crept down to the basement instead. I pulled the black mask from its hiding place, the bottom drawer of an old stand-up desk. I sat down on the edge of the couch. My heart started to race as I put on the mask. Then I saw them immediately, the four kids. They sat cross-legged on the floor with their stiff, heavy clothes, playing the board game. Hey, can you hear me? I called out. Turn around. They continued to play the game. Hello, I shouted. Hello. No reaction. The blonde boy shook the dice in his hand, rolled them, and moved his marker over the board game. The four kids concentrated on the game. What? Hold on, y'all. This just got interesting. I'm sorry that I'm actually decided to legitimately just read a book. Sort of. I'm not fully reading it just in case somehow that becomes like a copyright thing. I don't really care. I'm also like skimming, so okay. I stopped when I cut my hands over my mouth and shouted at the top of my lungs, hey, listen to me, can you? I stopped when I saw someone else in the basement, a tall, shadowy figure backed by the furnace, a man hiding behind the furnace. What was he doing there? Did the four kids know he was hiding back there, spying on them, keeping it in the deep shadows? No, they didn't look up from their game. Hey, look out, I shouted, my voice hoarse from fear. There's someone there, someone behind you. Hey, one of the girls rolled the dice, then moved her marker along the board game. I squinted to see the man better. He was a pretty old guy, long and lanky. He had a baggy blue work overalls and a red long-sleeved shirt. He wore thick eyeglasses and was bald except for tufts of white hair that stood straight up at his ears. What was he holding in his hand? What was that, a wrench? A big metal wrench? What's he going to do with it? Was he going to hit them with it? I started breathing hard and my hands pressed against the sides of my face. I have to warn them. What would happen if I crossed the room and tried to touch one of them? I'll try it. Before I could move, a deafening roar rang in my ears. The whole basement shook violently. I gripped the arm of the couch, struggling to keep my balance. What was that? An explosion? I saw all four kids were knocked onto their backs. I heard a cracking sound The creaking of wood splitting. Louder, louder. One of the girls cried. You know, they were all screaming. The sound spread across the basement. Then a loud snap of a wood beam over their heads. It crashed on them, bounced once, twice, then the whole ceiling collapsed in an avalanche of wood and plaster, crushing all of them. He screams. Couldn't bear to watch it. I shut my eyes, my hands clawed. The sides of the mask. I finally took it off and fall to the floor. I bent forward and hugged myself tightly. Okay. Took a long time to find the courage to open my eyes. When I did, the basement like normal again. Everything okay. No dead kids, no broken beams or falling things. I know why we're seeing these kids. I said out loud, 100 years ago, these kids all died in this basement. They were killed here, crushed to death. Okay. Oh, what? Mom and Dad had gone shopping. I didn't feel like being alone. I couldn't be alone. I had to call Bill and tell him, but as I picked up the phone, the doorbell rang. I hurried down the steps to the front door, pulled it open and screamed. The man from the past. The man hiding in the basement, holding the wrench, spying on those poor kids. The man from 100 years ago, he was standing on my front porch step. Sorry, I'm late, he said, eyeing me through the storm door. Huh? Late? No, I stammered. No, it can't be. He scratched a tuft of white hair from his face. Is your dad home? I'm, Calvin Reamer. He called me about, checking out the furnace, but I got tied up till now. What is happening? I asked myself. I saw him through the mask 100 years ago, but he looks exactly like the same as the ghost. So he has to come in. Parents aren't home. This is boring. Can we get to the good stuff? Shit. He's been taking care of the house for nearly 50 years. Did anything terrible happen down there? Everyone calls me Cal. Why do you think so? Just wondering. He bit his bottom lip. As a matter of fact, there was a terrible tragedy down in this basement nearly 50 years ago. But how old are you? 11, 12? I don't think you would want to hear about it. Yes, I cried, losing my cool. Please, I do want to hear. It was a bitter winter day. The Anderson family, that's who lived here then, still had an old-fashioned coal-burning furnace. He sighed. They moved out right after the tragedy. You see, Amelia, the little girl, wandered down here. No one knew how she got away from her nanny, but she wandered down here to the basement. And she must have been running or something, and she fell. You sure you want to hear this? Okay, I like this. Make a long story short. Someone left the furnace doors open. She fell in and fell right into the burning coal. Wow. Shit. Burned her to bones. Probably didn't take long. No one heard her scream or anything. Later, all they found was her little charred skeleton. Wow. Nothing else happened. Okay, the four of his friends are in the room. Okay, so they want to leave, but he asked them to go down there. Okay, he thinks he can save him. When we reached the basement, all four of us stopped and listened. I hear a slow, soft scrape, scrape, scrape from the far corner. Footsteps, scrape, scrape. Louder now. The ghost of the little girl, Valerie cried. Oh no. My breath caught in my throat. I took a step. This is pure entertainment, everybody. I took a step toward the sound and saw a cow pop his head out from behind the furnace. Okay, put down the wrench, crossed the room. He was wearing the same outfit as the night before. Gotta go buy a valve. Be back in an hour or so. Okay. So he says he made up the story. Tried to reach those kids. Somehow I said, try to warn them. I pulled on the mask and adjusted the holes over my eyes. Yes, there they were, the four old-fashioned kids. What are your names? I shouted aloud. Can you hear me? What are your names? If only I could see their faces. They try to give him a note. They can't see it. Okay, they think the basement holds a secret. Oh, okay, they're gonna put on the clothes. Yeah, they dress up in it. There's the future. Furnace explodes. The end. Beautiful. that was my video for today, so this has been Kai. I'm saying bye.